Yeah, it came from just wanting to tell like a really normal human story, but told with puppets. So we spoke to Signe, who's a screenwriter, to help us come up with some concepts, and then she wrote this monologue that I thought was really sweet, and then I thought maybe that's a nice subject that we could sort of delve into with the puppets, and yeah, and I think it's quite a universal story for both men and women and boys and girls, and some photos of people, I guess, from various inspirations, and then yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, just characters. We feel like normal, trying to portray super normal people that look kind of funny, maybe.
Yeah.
Middle-aged, yeah, people who look normal but funny, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a beautified person.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
First is like looking at inspirations of people with like a funny look and stuff like that, and just gathering a lot of information or inspiration from a lot of sources, and then we sort of sit down and we start to carve the puppets with foam, and then from there we sort of they get their shape, and from there it's like, oh, this is a funny shape. Maybe she has like a weird chin, and suddenly she can make like a weird expression with her face, and then that sort of becomes like a character trait that sort of goes into the character. And
so it's like you have a sketch, and then when you work with foam, the character comes alive with that as well.
Things happen naturally once you sort of start sculpting it. Yeah, where you just look at inspirations and then you start shaping them, and then the character sort of suddenly, when you have a shape, the character just suddenly she's there in front of you. And maybe she's not as you expected her to be or as you planned to be, but
well, and as in this, you started with a storyboard.
Yeah,
I feel like, and then the character with that, with a lot of drawings, the character comes, it forms kind of, and then I started drawing like how we should do this whole thing in foam, and then from that we made a form, and then so it kind of just changes a little bit along the way, and then when you make the foam sculpture kind of, and then you start moving it, then it changes again, kind of, it comes alive that way. So it kind of you can have control of the process a little bit, or kind of a lot, but also during it you have to like just follow the process and see what comes out the other end, kind of.
But also for this film we wanted to, like I said, try and tell like a super normal bland story. Not a bland story, but like a super normal story, with these weird looking characters, and then it was like a balance between how crazy and ugly can you make them look while you still sort of feel something for them. And with Ivar, her husband, it was a lot of back and forth, like how crazy can he look versus how sweet and innocent should he look.
Yeah, so at one point he was kind of ugly, bald kind of guy.
Yeah.
But you
have to tone it down a little bit so that you actually feel something.
Sweet guy. Kind of.
And the puppets are made out of foam. And we use foam because it's very squishable and soft. So we carve them out of foam, and then you have your hand inside the head. And since it's foam, it means that whatever you do with the hand, you can make like little gestures and expressions. So since they don't move the pupils, so they don't blink, because they have like what do you call it? Eyes that don't move.
Yeah.
Static eyes.
Yeah.
So since the foam is squishy, you can then make it look like she's actually looking and like frowning.
Which is kind of a coincidence for another project that we found out that technique kind of. But that's foam rubber.
Yeah, and it's lightweight, so you can actually have it on your hand for a long time.
Yeah.
It came from watching, I don't know, a lot of growing up in Norway. We watched a lot of Eastern European animation on TV, and it was always a mix between stop motion puppets and 2D stuff, and like Jiri Trinka kind of puppets. And then I wanted to capture the same sort of feel and look in this. and not only having the puppets, but also maybe using some 2D elements as transitional elements between the scenes. And then we got animator Steph Hope on board, who's a British animator based in Oslo, and she does this amazing like morphing 2D animations. And then we sort of looked at a lot of inspirations together, and then she did some great animation for this. Maybe being on set and performing them.
Yeah.
Because the way we perform the puppet is that we are on the floor with all the sets are raised. So we lie under the sets and we operate them like this, above our heads, looking at monitors on the ground. So we had to be like crouched under the bed in the bedroom and looking at a little monitor and then trying to...
And kind of that's the thing we have the least experience with. We have done it a lot, but not that much, so controlling that process as well is kind of hard.
So yeah, making it look believable.
Yeah.
As, it's a bit of both, because I think it's so fun with a lot of details, and since we spend so much time on the puppets, making them look very intricate and stuff, I think it's fun to just put as much detail into the sets as possible and make everything look believable, like everything belongs in the same world. And to achieve that, I feel like you can't just buy things and put them in there. You have to like make it, and because that's what you do in stop motion, because everything is so tiny. So for this, even though it's quite big, we wanted it to look like a stop motion set, so that when you see it, you can't really tell how big everything is. And the only way to achieve that in our head was to just make everything from scratch and make it like janky. And
you could add that we kind of had the possibility in this film to actually spend time on making everything. So that's why we could do it and learn from it, and that's why we did it as well, kind of.
Yeah.